back again from the Ashes We Rise Black Phoenix podcast. MCTR hanging out with y'all again. What's good, TR?
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's been a little bit of time, and glad to be back on.
Everybody watching preseason football right now thinking it's the real thing, but it's not.
Well, I think the only one that's been getting some of the highlights has been Sha'Carri. So, hopefully the Cleveland Browns figure out the quarterback situation because it's messy.
Well, knowing the Browns, they'll mess it up. That's what they do.
Yeah, it's inevitable. So, all right. We are going to get the show started, and we're going to start with, what, MC, was funny. We were just talking about our topics, but we didn't prioritize them. So we're going to talk about the plane crash, or not, I shouldn't say that, crash out on a plane, which has been a pretty funny topic in terms of like just seeing people just go ballistic. People like, I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I'm like, I feel like I'm going to crash out on an airplane. How about you, MC?
Man, I've been wanting to crash out at some of these flight attendants sometimes, but I know better. I got to get to where I need to be on time.
Hey, facts. Detail. You ain't lying about that. I think it's crazy when celebrities do it too. And this guy, this video we're going to review, he's definitely not a celebrity, but it reminds me of a previous airplane conversation we had maybe a few months ago about people that show up and they, try to save the day. So yeah, we're gonna discuss that. Let's see.
Who forced a flight from Virginia to LAX to be diverted to Grand Junction, Colorado. Tonight, that flight finally touching down at LAX, and the passengers with quite a story to tell. Eyewitness News reporter Jory Rand joining us live from LAX after speaking with some of them. Jory.
It was quite an ordeal today, Mark. That plane left Norfolk, Virginia about 9:15 East Coast time this morning. Those passengers got to the airport about 2 hours earlier, probably left for the airport about an hour before that. Add it all together, that's about 3:15 a.m. West Coast time, and they finally touched down here tonight. An unruly passenger aboard a Breeze Airways flight this morning from Norfolk, Virginia to LAX caused such a scene that passengers had to step in to help subdue him, and the plane had to...
Hey, did you see that?
Pick that dude up like he was a baby.
Let me replay this again.
A passenger aboard a Breeze Airways flight this morning from Norfolk, Virginia to LAX caused such a scene that passengers had to step in to help subdue him, and the plane had to divert.
Oh man, honestly, when they do pick you up like that, you got to fight back. You just got to go to full crash out mode because you just got embarrassed in 4K, and you probably gonna get arrested because of this outburst. You just got to go all the way through. You got to see it through.
Man, you flying from Norfolk to LA, that's a long ass flight, man. Just get it done. Sit down, just grit it out, get off that plane as quickly as you can. I never understood these people that want to make scenes on these damn flights, man.
Yeah.
To his credit, I was slightly defending
Who credit?
Airline, the guy who acted the ass, because airlines have been trashed lately, TR. I fly a lot, man. I've never seen so many delays. So many rude flight attendants. TSA sure doesn't help. Like, I get it, but at the end of the day, you have no leverage when that plane is in the sky. You have to look at them as federal agents. And you might have some armed protection on that flight, too. So, mind your manners, man. Just push through and get it done.
Yeah, so you're right. When you say armed protection, though, I don't think they have them on a lot of these flights, honestly, though, because some of these crash outs, right. We never see when the federal marshals just show up and they like, hey, we're official over here. You guys sit down, or you get arrested or tased or whatever the case is. It's always just citizens that have to step in. And particular in this case, though, because the video we reviewed previously was a woman crashing out, just trying to kick everybody in the face. And we had in that situation, it was a black dude that ran over to try to subdue the chick, which I said was a bad idea. I don't think you should be putting yourself in harm's way. And in this situation, it's kind of the same thing too, where it's another, and this is a big linebacker black dude. And the only reason I pulled this up, though, I think that men should not be getting involved with stuff like this because it can easily go against you. Because how quickly could this have been a bad situation if that guy, let's say, I know he picked that dude up like a toddler, but what if that dude would have went a whole nother level and crashed out? Then you're responsible. Then you got to do paperwork on that. Like, hey, what did you do to contribute to this? And that guy, I mean, I'm not saying he would have did this, but if he would have had a panic attack, or people sometimes they, a lot of pressure. I mean, they get a lot of stress on them. Sometimes you can induce a heart attack.
If he would have crashed out, like if in a what if scenario, that whole plane would have teamed up against him. Airlines are one of the few times where this country is united by race, sexual orientation. Everybody is like, Ninja, sit down and shut up and let's get this done. I guarantee you, everybody would have clicked up, especially after 9/11. Everybody would have teamed up and combined powers and restrained that guy somehow. This is one of the few times we were united as a country.
You say that though, but do you remember the Asian guy that crashed out and then they tried to subdue him and he had like all that blood dripping from him because he was like fighting back? And I forget if it was Delta or American Airlines, but they had to cut that dude a fat check and he was the one crashing out.
You know what? There needs to be some type of waiver or something. I mean, it's assumed when you look at the terms and conditions of your flight, but it sounded to me like that wasn't a restraint. That sounded like a fight. Restraint is a way different scenario. We're gonna put those arms behind your back and you're gonna eat some floor until you calm down, or sit in your chair and just shut the hell up. That's how it is.
Right.
To Grand Junction, Colorado.
I call it a level 4.
Have you ever heard of this flight?
Nah.
This airline company, Breeze. This ain't no Breeze. It's the new I forgot the other Temu airline, but
you're talking about Spirit. And
Spirit.
Talked about them with the Roach story earlier this year.
Oh man, it's funny.
Disturbance now. They said they had him restrained. He broke out, and there's passengers holding him down there.
The air.
See, this is what I'm talking about. They said they had him restrained. Like, think of it this way, MC. So let's say like, maybe you're traveling with some colleagues or something, and one of them has a meltdown or crashes out. Now you in a bad spot. Now you got to figure out, like, are y'all tripping or is he tripping? Because there's a lot of times where I've seen people, the mob crash out when the person that was in, I mean, we've seen that before where the guy that's crashing out is trying to warn everybody or tell everybody there's something to miss, but no one's listening or paying attention, and then everybody gets messed up. Like, I mean, there might be more movie-ish, but the point is, this guy was restrained. He broke out. He was definitely going through an episode, and it's funny that nobody wants to talk about mental health because this guy was having something. I don't usually play the mental health card, but I think a lot of these people crash out a lot when they in the air.
Yeah, and how are you going to determine someone's mental mind state before they get on a plane? Like, I don't know how you're going to rectify this because this seems to be happening more and more. But what I do know is there needs to be some type of waiver for good Samaritans that want to step in and help with stuff like this, because nobody wants to miss the last crash out we talked about was the lady who literally she missed a funeral because somebody was crashing out on the plane and delaying everybody else's flights. And matter of fact, we have a certain former track star we'll be talking about later who did something similar to that too. But
everybody forget about that.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. I don't really know how else to deal with this, but I would have lost my temper and I probably would have tried to restrain him, and I know a couple others would have as well.
Yeah.
Holding him down there.
The airline had to call in a new flight crew to finish the flight, so tonight, almost 8 hours after their scheduled arrival, these weary travelers finally arrived in LA.
Jory, why am I here after 7:45? I'm gonna tell you why. This Tony Hawk wannabe from Outer Banks, North Carolina, with his skateboard, had too many Bloody Marys this morning.
That passenger was heard using racist slurs and refusing to cooperate.
He's using racist.
See, I'm not for this, MC. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Call me a coward all you want. Look at all these. What? Okay, first of all, there's like 4 or 5. What? This guy, and I think there were 2 more. First of all, how come all these other men then jump up and do something? This guy is, I mean, he's built like a toddler. So, we've already established this guy is no physical threat. But you had to get the 6'7" black dude to take care of this guy. Like, this is what I'm talking about. A bunch of men stood by and let this thing go on, and then the black dude had to show up and like put this guy in his place. It seems like, people are okay when it comes time to whoop somebody's ass. People are okay with this. But when it's time that somebody like to kind of step in and like, hey, somebody's got to do something, he ain't the only one there. And not to mention the flight crew, they didn't try to restrain him. They try to use their damn words. How come we got a whole bunch of women that are flight attendants, and I have seen some men flight attendants, but they ain't built like this dude, and they have a different persona. But the point is, we see like a bunch of women that are flight attendants. They have to deal with this stuff, and it's messed up. Like, you shouldn't have to deal with any of this stuff on your when you're at work. And the guy probably did have too much to drink, or maybe he ingested something. I don't know what it was, and he was like tripping. But I tell you this much though, you should not be running up to take care of this guy, because again, this could have went so many different ways. What if he would have pushed him back and he would have been smacking people on the way back, on the way out, and somebody could have, like, I don't know, lost an eye? Like, I know it sounds like it's crazy, but it could have easily happened. And then you got to be brought into, like, say, a lawsuit, because people, we live in a litigious society, so we know a lot of people sue for anything.
Yeah. So generally, I would agree with you. In any other scenario, if I'm out on the street and I see somebody wilding out like this, yeah, I'm gonna let the police deal with it. But when you're up in the air like this, I assume everybody is a threat that acts like this.
I mean, that's true.
Ultimately, you're putting your life in someone else's hands whenever you take a flight. The pilot, the staff, whatever. And him just getting up and acting like this in this very small and contained space, he was making his way toward the cockpit, TR. So I got to do something at this point, because
yeah, but the
I got to
cockpit
get
is
to where I need to
secured.
be. Is it?
Yes, it's secured. As post, what was the Patriot Act? They lock up the cockpit.
That didn't stop him from moving up there, and Lord knows what he was trying to do.
Hey,
I'd rather overplan than underplan. I don't know what dude is capable of.
I understand, but then this just goes to what I said earlier. These flight attendants, and you start having men on there that will do something, not flip their wrists. And then also they need to start having what do you call it? Federal marshals. I know you can't put them on that. Why can't you put them on every flight?
I looked it up, by the way, TR. They're on 5% of flights.
Okay, yeah. See, all these flights, everything's going down. Like, then maybe they need to start hiring enforcers. Maybe you should need to start hiring UFC fighters that just they jump on a few planes, and then if somebody gets unruly, somebody get out of pocket. Hey, you want to go talk to a dude with the mushroom ear, or what do you cauliflower ear? You want to go talk to that guy? All right, go ahead, because I guarantee you'll see a decrease in some of this stuff. And yeah, again, that guy, he was out of pocket though, but I don't think this guy should have been running over. I'm pretty sure he didn't get compensated for anything. I'm not saying you got to be rewarded, but again, there should have been more men running up over here, is what I'm saying. If it's that much of a danger, there should have been more men.
And a lot of these flight attendants, TR, they barely weigh 100 pounds. Like,
yeah, they ain't built
get
for
a
this.
couple of linebackers every now and then, but yeah, definitely not built for it.
Yep.
Slurs. He's in people's faces.
F-bombs.
Now
N-bombs.
they said slurs, but all the video footage, I haven't heard him say it. I'm not saying he didn't say it, but I haven't heard him say it.
Even if he did, they just bleep it out. So who knows?
Yeah, true.
It's just stuff, all saying a lot of stuff.
I didn't expect like racism to be like. I didn't think
They
he'd be
turned
so
around to black
open
passengers,
about
too.
it. Just like to be yelling stuff on the plane like that with kids around. I was like, wow, that's low-key very, very crazy.
When a flight attendant asked for help, this man, fellow passengers called the linebacker in 17C, stepped in to help.
So he just like got up
So
and just sat him down in the seat like a little kid.
Thank God for linebacker 17C, because he really saved the day.
My son was on there, and there was other kids on there, and so I just have to, sit him down.
Sometimes heroes can be camera shy too.
Once I heard the fights and they say, "Can somebody help me?" It was like I
That's
just
smart, TR.
saw
That's
black
smart.
almost.
Stay off the camera. Stay
Hey.
off the camera, because he probably gonna try to do some legal stuff.
Hey, he could. But here's my thing. This is again what I'm talking about. Look, is anyone offering this to any Hawk Tua? Is he getting a discount on his flight? He ain't getting any of this stuff. So
I
he
expected Hawk Tua here, TR. I'm expecting to get to my destination on time.
Hey,
That's what I need.
Look, I get what you're saying. All I'm saying is like, sir, we ain't got enough time to give you any Hawk Tua, but here's a voucher or something. Like that's my whole point in all of this, though. None of this stuff like is even if it's to the point where you're worried about the flight, because that's what it's telling me, is that they think this guy was just loud and acting like that woman. And because the woman, by all intents and purposes, that one was way worse than what this guy did. Like, this girl was trying to kick people, she's trying to punch people, and I guess she was out of line, and she had to be on a stretcher, on a gurney or whatever. But her situation was way worse than what this guy did, and no one else. I mean, I forgot how that ended. I know it's two guys that ran up on her to subdue her, but no one else was running up this guy. So all I'm thinking is that these are just people just yelling and screaming. And I get, it's like, to me, I treat it like kind of like a kid, like the kid's just yelling and screaming. You really can't do anything about it. So I don't know if this guy really was a threat to the flight. It just sounds like he was just annoying, honestly.
It sounded to me like he had too many drinks, because they mentioned Bloody Marys earlier. Now, what happened to the days where they would cut you off when you had a certain amount of drinks? Because bartenders are supposed to do that. And I know bartenders in the airport used to do that. And even the flight attendants on the flight, they generally supposed to cut you off after a certain amount. But
yeah, supposed to.
Yeah, it seems like that might have been something that was missed here. And those are the worst types of drunks. There's many different types of drunks, but those ones that turn into tough guys and they start acting crazy when they get too much in their system, nah.
Yeah, no. I mean, my hat off to that guy. I hope nothing comes of it. Like, he doesn't try to get in trouble. And it probably was a good move that he didn't have his face disclosed, because to me that sounds like you could open up a whole bunch of other doors. That guy might try to come after him, but it's all good with him. And then they're talking about the slurs and everything. Again, why are you just talking to the black people? You're not talking to the white people either? Like, as many times I've seen a lot of white people show up for a lot of these these marches saying that, hey, we're here for black people. They sure didn't talk to any of them. And maybe they just cut it out too.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if there was something at the beginning that we missed or didn't catch that set this dude off. But all I know is, man, you better sit your ass down and be quiet so we can get this flight out the way. Because nobody likes flying. Let's just get it over with. Let's get it done.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, no, take some earbuds and, hope you don't got an unruly kid behind you. That's the other thing too. If you got a kid behind you that's just kicking your seat.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you sit anywhere near me, you better have your headphones on, because my daughter is gonna turn up.
Bad.
She gets very excited when we fly. I ain't apologizing for it. I tell people all the time, when you have kids on a flight, they often don't know how to deal with it, man. Especially when you're going up and they get that sensation in their ear.
Yeah.
I tell parents all the time, don't apologize for that, man. Everybody brings earbuds at this point. Put them on, chill the hell out, go ahead and watch a little movie, play your games, you'll be fine.
Hey guys, you know what that tells me? Y'all better pay to get in first class.
Pay to get in first class.
Well, at least in first class you have a little bit of room, right? I mean, I never
honestly, you can sit in the exit row, you get some leg space there too.
Yeah. I meant like if you have people behind you. I think the only crazy thing that I've ever had on a flight was it was like 3 seats and I'm on the outside, chick is on the other side. I was traveling somewhere, and the chick by the window seat took her shoes off and put her feet on the seat between us. And I get it, there's no one between us though, but man, y'all too comfortable for this shit. Nah. This is, like I said, get your money up so you can get first class. Sometimes you have to deal with that.
Are they feet that you wanted to see, TR?
Look, there have been men that she did have some nice pink toes, but I'm telling you this, there have been men that have been arrested for doing activities while a woman is sleeping or on a flight and taking pictures or caressing their feet. Like, again, I don't know why women do stuff like that. Don't put your feet out, because you don't know what guy, or if that's a not a trigger, but they crash out over stuff like that. So anyway,
you especially kind of gross if you taking your shoes off on the plane too, or in the airport for that matter. Y'all wild.
Facts. All right, we're gonna jump to the WNBA. There's been some updates on their CBA negotiations. And I'll tell you this much, TR, the WNBA, I've talked to different people. We've had the conversations about the
TR?
Oh, MC. I was doing two things at once. MC, I'll tell you this much though. When it comes to like the WNBA, most people are actually on the. I feel like there have been a lot of people on the side of the WNBA, and they keep bringing up the fact that these teams are getting high valuations. They're bringing in new teams. They're signing these massive agreements, and it sounds like everyone's like, yeah, they probably should. And I'm not saying they shouldn't. This is probably the best time to get the money because you probably won't even, have another opportunity until after the current CBA or actually the next CBA expires. So it'll probably be at least another, 8 years or 10 years to negotiate. So this is, I got no problem with them negotiating or trying to ask for more money, but I think they're out of pocket on this one.
I have a problem with them asking for more money when they're broke, TR, and they're still
I
being
know they're broke.
subsidized.
Yeah,
They're still broke.
yeah.
But
But
here's the thing. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you're right. They're broke, but the NBA is still negotiating with them. I guess it's the NBA essentially, but they're still negotiating with them. They have zero leverage. So if somebody, okay, everyone knows they have no leverage, but the women are still acting like they have leverage and they're asking for more money. So if they turn down this deal that they were given, it's like, this is probably the best deal that that you guys are probably going to get. But if they say it's a bad deal and they want more money and the teams and the NBA gives them more money, that's on the NBA at this point. That just tells me the NBA are terrible negotiators, and whatever the NBA CBA has on the table, they need to rip that contract up. So whatever the deal they give to the WNBA, the NBA, they need to be asking for 3 times as much after this deal goes through.
Whoever negotiates on behalf of the players in the WNBA needs to be fired immediately. Do you know what their current revenue share is, TR?
Shit.
I just posted it in the public chat on that link, but it's 9.3%.
Yeah.
And they're pushing for anywhere between 40 and 50 right now. Now, here's the problem with the WNBA. They're growing in every single metric except profitability. Increased sponsors, increased fans, increased watchers, members, viewers, whatever. They're expanding and growing the league, all while losing money, by the way. You know what that tells me? If you're improving in every single area but revenue and profit, that tells me that you're being managed piss poorly. And the higher ups got to go. Your commissioner is trash. You got to go. But if they lock out and strike, TR, it is going to take them years to repair the damage that is done. They're basically going to have to start from scratch because most of the people that are watching right now are not hardcore fans. They're casual fans at best. The NBA at least still has hardcore fans that'll come right back if they were to strike and it ended. The WNBA doesn't have that yet. So they're playing on some very, very, very dangerous games right now.
Yeah. They definitely do not understand the economics behind all of this, and it's gonna show. So let me see if I can get this video to play.
I think we can.
Oops.
Focus on I think we can focus in the union. We got a proposal from the league, which was honestly a slap in the face, and I think we really have to put an emphasis on the players that are in our league right now. But I love to see the league growing. I think adding these teams in Philly and Detroit, like that's how amazing is that the league can grow. But how cool would it also be to have like a little bit expansion on the rosters? Like let's focus on the teams that have everything set up right now, and maybe focus on the teams also that find excuses continuously to lack investment into their players before we focus on adding more to the grain of people that can't really be sustained.
Yeah, see, and I believe she's one of the spokes. I think she's part of the contract negotiations, and I get it. Like I said, I'm not going to tell people not to ask for more money. If they're going to, if they allow you to ask for more money, ask for more money. But they would have got a deal that would have paid them 4 times. And this is all allegedly. So who knows what the deal is. but 4 times the money. It's like the league is willing to give them 4 times. This is crazy. On the first sit down. Well, this is probably the second or third, but they're willing to give them that much money on this sit down. This is crazy, man.
Yeah, a quadruple raises, walking away from that is nuts. But from what I'm reading so far, the revenue split is still, even with that offer, was well below the 50% that they're seeking. They want the same split as NBA players.
Mhm.
Basically, is what that's kind of what their hard drawn line is. But I think what they should do is maybe sign a short term deal. Maybe take 15 to 30%, and then
Right.
circle back in another year or two and see how things are progressing along. But you got to clean up internally first before you do stuff like this. Like, I get y'all all making livable wages, right? Well, unless you live in California, but most of y'all are making livable wages right now. And with the endorsements, you're going to get that back even if you live in Cali. So I just don't think they're playing smart economics right now.
No, not at all.
Get mad by the WNBA organization.
I don't know who this player
because a lot
is.
of you all make $66,000.
Oh, maybe that's
and you
maybe
were
that's her name.
offered $250,000, which is the maximum, and turn that down to say no, we want $1 million. I get it. Fighting for equality and sports justice. But my God, $66,000 to $250,000. A lot of people on this earth would never be able to see that jump on a norm in their professional career. And my God, to even make $100,000 as an average American is sometimes unheard of. But a lot of people do it. A lot of people make it to the point. But
most people don't make and the people that do make 100K, they didn't make that 100K till they got into their 40s. Late 30s, early 40s. That is when they'll make 100K. So you ain't making it. Majority of people are never making it in their 20s, most of the 30s. It's not until, and sometimes it's like if you got married or you live in a I forget what you call it. You got married or you've been at a company forever. That's sometimes that's the only way you'll get to 100K or 6 figures.
Actually, the way the game is set up right now, if the bag is truly what you want, you better off just switching jobs every 3 years. There's very few people that get rewarded for corporate loyalty, if we're being honest.
Facts.
I see 2 levels of. I don't want to insult these ladies, but let's just throw it out there like this.
I mean, just tell the truth.
The first thing they asked for back in the day, TR, was private flights. They didn't want to be sitting in coach with the commoners. They wanted private or chartered flights to themselves. So there's an expense, right? Then they circled back and started talking about this stuff. And if you're going to ask for a $1 million minimum salary, I need to understand as a watcher of the game, what's your logic behind that? Because the only way that would make sense is if you think ownership is fudging the books on purpose and not disclosing what the true profitability is. If that is not the case, then what you're asking for is ridiculous and too much. You need to go back and I get it. Start off high and then talk your way to a lower point or whatever on their side. But $1 million minimum right now, that is nuts. You just asking for this league to go bankrupt, and somebody else will come in and buy it if it does for a way cheaper price.
They don't care,
and they're not, and they're going to pay you lesser salary. And if you don't want to accept that, they'll just find players who will. And it's going to be the same problem all over again with y'all having to go overseas to play basketball.
I think they're still doing that. So I think they're okay with being with the way it currently is. And so if they do have to go back to it, they don't care, just as long as they do it on their warped, delusional terms. So, and I've stated this before though. I think it's just a big scam. I think these teams are overvalued, and because they're overvalued, it's giving these players a sense that, hey, there is more money on the table. But I think it's just one big con job on the owner's part, though, because they're adding all these teams. So it gives the impression that, hey, this is the next gold rush if you want to get into, if you want to get into like a professional sports team. But it's not. This is all smoke and mirrors. And the more they try to negotiate or the more they try to like give these players more money, they're going to end up losing money in the next 5 to 10 years. So whatever deal they get, honestly, I think it's never going to like really come to fruition though, because I think the league's going to collapse. The NBA is going to have to make some tough decisions. How much do we want to like carry this league? Because if our expenses have gone up and they're not bringing in more money, I mean, the TV contract does help. That's the only thing that I can see, that the TV contract is a legit deal, but the valuations of these teams, not legit. I think it's just all, the Valkyries, they got a $500 million valuation. I still don't know any of the players. I still don't know if whoever, I think they have a rookie on there, I believe, that's one of the top rookies in the league that's actually doing something. But again, they're not getting that exposure like that. So most people don't even know where the Valkyries are even located at. So I think it's just, like the NFTs, it's the next gold rush, but it's one big scam that's going to collapse in about 10 years after this CBA agreement. I promise you it will.
And here's the other thing. Your increase in attendance, a lot of that is tied to Caitlin Clark.
Yep.
What happens when she ages out? And this is why you need to be focusing on
ages out. She's injured right now. She might be done for the season.
And the last time she got injured, we saw how ticket prices and viewership dropped.
Yep.
So the main thing right now is why you got to figure out how to generate more interest outside of her.
Yep.
And how to generate more revenue sources outside of her. Then maybe you can come, like I said, I think 9% revenue split is terrible. That needs to be bumped up for sure. But 50% right now ain't realistic on a league that ain't making money. You should be pushing for 25 to 30, sign a short-term deal, and then come back and do this again in a couple more years.
Yeah, no, I agree. So if they can negotiate it, fine. But the NBA, honestly, I think the NBA is going to fold on this. I think the NBA is probably going to end up giving them close to 50%. And the deals they're just not going to come through. They're never going to see the return on investment. Those people, and that's them. Like, you guys are business enthusiasts. You do this all the time. That is 100% on those guys. What I do think is probably a better bang for their buck is probably getting into like pro volleyball teams, because where I'm at, we got 2 pro volleyball teams. We almost had 3, but they merged 2 of them. So right now we have 2, and this is just in my state. So I'm pretty sure there's still more places where you can have a pro volleyball team set up. And some of the NBA players like Kevin Durant and I want to say there's I forget the football player's name, but a lot of these pro athletes, they're getting involved with these pro volleyball teams. So if you can get if you have a good volleyball community in your state, and you can provide a decent sized arena, that's the best. That's probably the best fit for a lot of these people. But right now, these WNBA teams, good luck, because if you think that money is going to show up or be around, and Caitlin Clark, I mean, she's not. I mean, is it possible Caitlin Clark might not even have like a full career in the WNBA? She could be done because they don't police her. I mean, not police her, but they don't protect her in terms of she's always getting hacked. She's always getting fouled, and these are hard fouls. We're not talking about ticky-tack fouls. We're talking about fouls on the floor, or where she gets knocked to the floor. So there's a lot of things going on where they need to clean up, but they're not protecting their star leagues. And when Juju Watkins, I mean, she's coming off of ACL injury. So when she gets into the league, are we? I mean, is Juju going to be able to like stay healthy? Because the league, I mentioned this on social media. You have a bunch of Barbies playing with hippos. So like the weight difference is night and day. I'm telling you, man, like Caitlin Clark, she's probably like what, 115 going against some of these players that are like, 150. Like the weight difference is crazy.
Yeah, and it's the opposite of the NBA, honestly, because politics plays in to a little bit the way the refs officiate the NBA, in my opinion. The stars tend to get more of those calls that everybody tends to hate versus somebody who's unknown. I don't know why the WNBA hasn't adjusted to that yet. I don't know how to feel about that either, by the way. But
right,
the WNBA, it seems to me they've got way bigger problems that they need to deal with before they. Hopefully, they don't lock out and go on strike. That is the worst thing. It's going to take you years to recover from that. So hopefully, y'all work it out in a logical way, because this don't seem logical to me.
Hey, facts. All right. We are going to talk about Sha'Carri Richardson, which is, you would think this would be like all over the place, MC. Have you heard anyone outside of our normal circles talking about it?
No, because nobody cares when women do stuff like this. It's only when we do it.
Damn, man. Yeah, it is crazy because I made a post about Sha'Carri Richardson and I connected it to like the whole Diddy thing. Hold on, what's the for? All right, so I made a post about Sha'Carri Richardson and talked about the whole Diddy thing, and most people agreed. But at the end of the day, when it comes to Sha'Carri Richardson and women and domestic violence, you're right. No one seems to care. Nike sure hasn't cared. ESPN hasn't even talked about it. Like, let it be a man, harming a woman whatever way. That was all over the news. They're talking about the kicker. Who's the kicker for the Baltimore Ravens that just got let go because he was doing the same thing as Deshaun Watson? Do you remember him?
I know you ain't talking about Justin Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker. Yep. It was Tucker.
I did not hear about
He's
that.
he's out the league. Yeah, he's out the league.
Kicker too.
Yeah, is the operative word there. Wow. But yeah, no, this is crazy. Sha'Carri Richardson, and I believe Sha'Carri Richardson, the body cam footage is way worse than what TMZ had initially dropped, because TMZ dropped like what she was doing, and a lot of people, again, especially men, this woman was pushing this dude, just mushing him in the face, pushing this dude in a wall. Let somebody do that to your daughter. Let somebody do that to your wife. Just push her into a wall. Let somebody do that to your mom, your niece, any woman in your life. Let some dude just push her into a wall, and you won't call that DV. It's definitely DV, because if we got to push her, I promise you, if they were at home and he pushed her and she pushed him into a wall, I'm telling you, that thing is in a different way. I'm not trying to advocate for violence, but he's retaliating in a certain way. It's only because he had mind enough to say that, hey, I can't lose control, because if I lose control, I'm getting arrested no matter what. They won't even arrest her after that. And that's probably what she was trying to get him to do.
I agree 100%.
So let me get this video going. Whoops.
Okay. I didn't assault him though. We have video cameras. I literally we were having an argument. I'm not resisting, so you don't have to do it harder. Christian, are you serious right now? Christian.
He doesn't get a say.
But I understand. We were arguing. But I understand entirely. We were arguing. Okay. I'm not gonna resist, but I'm telling you that we was arguing. I didn't assault him. I didn't do anything wrong. But the fact that you guys are doing this to me,
she didn't assault him.
All right. I'm gonna comply. I am. I'm not gonna argue with you at all. But you had me on camera. But at the same time, what he has on camera, I have my phone, shows something different. So if I need to show that, I will. Okay, but I have my phone that shows something different. But Christian, thank you, Christian. Don't talk to him right now. Okay, I won't. Thank you so much, officer.
Dude, you cannot talk if you assaulted somebody. You cannot be. They would never let you talk to them. They will separate you. They will like put you on the ground. You cannot talk to the person you alleged to have victimized. They don't ever let that happen. And I don't think it's in this video, but earlier in the video, she calls the dude a coward. She's talking about how, hey, he's been assaulting me too, saying all this crazy stuff, and it's just, and that dude is still with her. Like her boyfriend, who came out and said, hey, we're just young people, and our emotions got the best of us. All right, well, tell that to all the other men that were in those same situations that ended up going through domestic violence or anger management, or in some cases, somebody lost their life in those situations because they were just a couple of young people losing their emotions.
I suspect that in terms of DV cases, TR, the reason why it's so skewed heavily towards men being the ones who started is because the men who are victims of it don't report it. I think it's a pride thing at this point. We didn't show this video in its entirety, but one of the first things she said when they put cuffs on her, knowing that she did all this to him when he was trying to escape, and showed a lot of restraint by not retaliating, by the way. One of the very first things that came out of her mouth when they slipped those cuffs on her was, why are you arresting me? He's the man.
Oh, you know what? Is that in this video? Is that the end, though? I don't think that was earlier.
It might be. and we can wait. We can play it out and see how it goes from there. And I hold my comments until then.
Mhm.
But the point I was ultimately trying to make is if you're a woman and you're okay with this, I just want you to know that you're an idiot. Anybody who thinks that, oh, I'm a woman and I'm smaller and it's okay if I do this because I'm not really going to hurt you, you're an idiot. Because it's still disrespectful. It doesn't matter if it hurts or not. I talked earlier about this. Men operate on respect. So if you don't show a man respect, there's no reason for him to stay. This is what I try to tell men. If she doesn't respect you, leave, bro. If you are the guy that you think you are, she can't replace you as easier as you can replace her.
Yeah,
Those
you should
dudes
go out.
get on out of there.
But you know what, MC, though? This is the other thing, too. This goes back to the airline conversation we had earlier. They obviously, you can see something's off with this couple, okay? And I know a lot of people don't like to stick their nose, but when you got that toddler dude crashing out, everybody wanted somebody to stick their nose into it, but they don't want to get their hands dirty. They wanted the 6'7" linebacker, black dude, to get his hands dirty and be rough with the dude. Now, in this situation, this is an airport. There are plenty of people walking by. And crazy enough, this is not the first time I've seen a woman go off on a dude and it was an interracial relationship too. But the white chick, the Becky, she was going off on her dude. That shit went viral.
Jonathan Majors, his chick.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, Jonathan Majors too. But he ended up getting arrested for that one. That was oddly enough. But in that situation, though, she's just yelling at the dude in front of everybody. You would think people would have been like, hey, you need to calm down. Like, this is the thing. Men, ain't nobody coming over to intervene in your relationship. Ain't nobody coming over to check your girl. No woman is coming over to check your girl because majority of people are fucking cowards. Because when it comes to a DV issue, they don't want to stick their nose in it until it's time to whoop the dude's ass. And there are times that a dude probably does need his ass kicked if he puts his hands on a chick and it's like obvious, like he's about to, do some harm to this chick. People generally will step in though. But when it's a chick who's like pushing this dude, again, her boyfriend Christian dude, when she pushed him into that wall, look, I got a reflex. I'm like, whoa. wait, what are we doing here? You go push me in front of everybody? So you're right about the disrespect that she showed him, or lack of respect. And then she pushed him again. What if he would have ran into somebody? What if he would have pushed him into somebody? Like, this is crazy that it took the airline to step in and say, hey, this woman's assaulting this guy. We need police. And the police were pretty cool about it too. I think they did let her off. They let her talk to Christian a little longer than they should have, than they normally would, because she called that dude a coward. She tried to act like, hey, I got DV videos of him hurting me too. Like, men, I know y'all gonna still mess with Sha'Carri. She was just messing with the chick a year ago, and now she's messing with men. I know men are gonna still go for it. And I know a lot of people are gonna stay on code, but this is what y'all have to deal with. And I'm glad. I got a daughter, so maybe I do have to deal with this to some degree, though. But the majority of you men, you stay in this relationship, you deserve it.
Nike still has all of her stuff up front and center on their page.
They just launched. They just launched, I think, maybe a shoe or something, like some new merch. They went along with it. Nike hasn't said anything. ESPN hasn't even said anything.
I do want to give a shout out to the men that's being more smart about stuff like this, though. He easily could have retaliated, and it would have ended badly. But we have enough evidence here to see he was clearly trying to get away. She was blocking him off.
I can't give him a shout. Actually, let me go back to the video before I, go back in on this.
No, you gotta play dirty when it comes to stuff like this, because it's not going to be fair to you. The police are going to believe the woman 9 times out of 10. So you got to start making sure you have evidence and you keep keep calm, cool, level-minded, collect your evidence, build up your case. Because he says, she says is always going to be in her favor every time.
Mm-hmm.
They are arresting me right now, Christian. Sissy, they're arresting me right now. Am I going to go actually to jail right now? You are actually going to go to jail. Wait, but right now,
Also, this is textbook weaponized femininity. When it's time to, play the feminism card or the femininity card, all of them know how to play it. They play this. This is like their go-to. This is how they get the simp enforcers. This is how they get the white knights, all running over to to her defense, claiming that her boyfriend, who's, you know, I mean, that dude's an Olympic athlete actually, who was harming her.
You have to be mindful of, because women like this are typically ones that say, well, I would be more feminine if I had somebody masculine in my life. No, you wouldn't. Masculine women are just that. They've been doing it for so long that it's going to be very, very hard for them to change. And it's like you said, man, she was ready for all the smoke until it was time to face consequences. Then she turned into a damsel in distress.
Yeah, this is a goddamn joke. This is a goddamn
These are the
joke.
type of women you really got to stay away from, fellas. You really should avoid masculine women altogether, but a lot of y'all are so desperate to insert yourself into something wet that you just accept what's thrown to you. But this is what we kind of got to tell each other, that we got to start saying no to chicks more. She may look good on the outside, but she's masculine as hell. If you want to be around masculine, go hang out with your boys. You don't want to come home and deal with that same type of energy, do you?
That's a goddamn joke,
do
MC.
that?
I knew I heard about this, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Nike still pushing her stuff.
Yeah, so we ain't heard nothing from ESPN. They've always talked about men, and I'm not saying they shouldn't talk about it. It's a story. But they have not brought Sha'Carri up. Molly Karam, who is the domestic violence advocate on ESPN, because she has to wear that title. She brings up all these DV issues. She always wants to put her fucking 2 cents in it, but she's quiet on this. Stephen A is quiet on it. Stephen A can talk about the whole Diddy case. He can talk about politics. He hadn't even brought this up. I mean, as of, when I pulled this video, he hadn't even talked about it yet. And there's been plenty of time to really talk about this conversation with Sha'Carri Richardson. People just refuse to talk about it. And that's why a lot of you men are in these terrible relationships, because you can't walk away. And I get that, they have business together. They probably have like Nike related, and you don't want to mess up the bag. I mean, but at what cost though? Because I know you said he exercised restraint, in which he did, but also at what cost? Like he didn't walk away. He just walked around her. My thing would have been like, you just got to walk away, go to the men's restroom, go to, just start running. Like, I mean, he's a track star. You can run, you can out. I mean, I don't know if he can outrun her, but, he could have, there's some other options he could have taken, because at that point, it's just not worth it, because now you're on camera. Now you're getting clown. That tells me that you came in. I mean, look, if I step to you, I don't have to worry about you. Apparently I got to worry about your girl, because you're the one that came in. Like, your girl thinks she's like, what the ultimate disrespect is? When she disrespects you in public, in front of everybody. The ultimate disrespect. Like, men, there's a couple levels before we go to the next level, because we know you just got to like squabble up. But when a woman does it, man, you can get away with it if it's at home, but not in public.
I'll take it one step further. If she don't respect you, she never will.
Yeah,
that's not.
That's what that tells me, right?
That's not something that you're going to get her to change her mind about. And men operate in respect. She doesn't respect him. She's never going to change. If he goes back to her, that makes him a goofy by default, TR.
Yeah. Nope. But like I said, he's already come out. I would have played his weak ass, simp ass apology speech, but I ain't gonna do that. Like, no, that's on you, bro. So, but anyways, yeah, man. When it comes to DV, people got to start having different conversations about it, and holding, pointing out that. And I'm not saying that she needs to be canceled to the level as, like a Ray Rice, a Diddy, Deshaun Watson. I think those are situations where a lot of those men cannot come back from those actions. The Deshaun Watson one is a little bit weird to me, though, because it sounds like all those women were complicit, but whatever, it is what it is. But when it comes to like DV, there's no like level 1 DV that's okay. This is textbook domestic violence. And even with Dana White, when Dana White smacked his chick in front of everybody, look, a lot of men didn't even do anything about it. So that, again, like I said, most of these men out here are fucking cowards. So you want to talk about how DV is so important? No, it's not. Nobody did anything to Dana White. You only care about DV when it's like a Diddy situation or a Ray Rice, when it's like that's the only position you can take.
Yeah, I never understood that either. And women like this, fellas, are going to put you in a situation where you have to throw hands with another man for not a good reason.
Yep.
She's going to provoke some dude somewhere down the line, and then is going to look at her boyfriend and expect him to handle the mess that she created. This is deep, man. You got to distance yourself from women like this, and you have to demand your respect.
Yeah, everybody's got to die because the chick couldn't control herself, or some violence got to like go down. So,
facts,
man. Which brings us to our next topic of people wilding out. Like this is pretty much a crash out episode. I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to announce this, though. But we're going to talk about a party that went wild, went off the rails. Let me get it pulled up here. Whoops. All right. It's been a while. It's been quite a while since I've seen a lot of white people crash out. Usually it's like black people or black and white people, but seeing a straight up melee brawl, I have not seen that in I haven't seen that in a while. Like just all white people.
Look, they fight just as much as we do. The only difference is you ain't got some big goofy around hitting record and screaming "World Star" while it's happening.
Hey.
That's literally the only difference. There's less people recording, so you don't see it as much.
Oh man.
Everybody out here throwing hands, man. That's why when you get around people you ain't too familiar with, and alcohol is involved, stuff like this is bound to happen.
Alcohol and women. So
man, he choking him right there in the middle. Ooh.
Yeah,
might getting choked.
You know what? This is probably gonna get censored. Hey, this is on Fox News, YouTube.
Yeah, go after Fox News. Don't go after us.
Man, look, there's one person recording. You got a lot of these people just standing by and watching. But you know the crazy thing too? If there had been some black people involved too, they're not running into this nonsense. They are not running into this. It's only when the tables have turned. It reminds me of the Cincinnati brawl when it was, I think those people were actually Russian, but two of the Russian folks, I think the guy had started from the video that I saw, and then he got jumped by everybody else after that. And so this is the only time. It's weird. It's weird the social dynamics when it's black people and white people involved, how they interact with each other, how it can go off the rails really quickly.
I just don't understand. I don't know what these people are fighting about, but it seems to me the gentleman right there in the black trunks that's starting to stand up.
This guy?
He got jumped.
Oh,
he was getting that chokehold put on him and getting punched at the same time. Like, what happened to the days of the one-on-one, man? Like,
that's true.
I don't. At least somebody walks away from it in that case. But technically speaking, TR, and we talk about this all the time, a chokehold is considered a fatal act.
Yeah.
Here in Florida stands your ground.
Yeah. Somebody could usually had that tool on them too.
Yeah, that blinky, man.
Yeah, and I don't think any women jumped in here either, too. So that's kind of interesting because a lot of times you'll see women get in there. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you trying to get punched?
I think I saw a little piece of the footage later on down the line. I should have marked it, but one of the women went there and they threw a little sissy sucker punch.
Got that big chain.
All right, so you think it's over at this point, but somebody's going to start it back up.
Yeah, one of these got laid out. he laid out. I don't know what to tell you. Like a lot of times when you get into these brawls, and all these people look pretty young. Honestly, they look like they're below 21 too. But I'm pretty sure alcohol was involved.
Oh,
but
the drinks in the hand right there, right in front of us.
Oh yeah. The Kaylee's cakes.
Yep, there's the sucker punch now.
Oh wow! I didn't see that.
You did. Now we in the danger zone.
Wow. Yeah.
And we're back here for you on Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Page. Thanks again
Hey,
for
Fox
joining
News.
us.
Hey,
Next
you
up,
too,
let's
Fox
go out
News.
to Polk County, Florida. Sheriff Grady Judd giving an update.
Thing in the world we could to correct. We started out with education. In addition to, so we've tried to work with people, but the game's over. And I'll tell you why the game's over. I want to show you this sign. What we're going to talk about today happened on a lot where we have at least 15 of these signs. It's in a area of a vacant lot where they pull up to, and instead of staying in the water, where there's a loophole, as long as their feet are in the water, they.
What's that?
He posted all the suspects. I saw where you were helping your
Yeah,
mom.
that's exactly where I was going.
Once again. So I want to tell everyone, so mom and dad and friends can be very impressed. Here's
all men, all simps, all beta male simps. They probably have fathers in their lives, and they all decided. We're oddly enough, they kind of look alike too, but a lot of mullets as well. But yep, all simps, all doing simp crash outs, all doing stupid shit because I don't know what could have led up to it. I'm thinking a woman, but sometimes it's like they just say trespassing, so maybe somebody was trying to police the other one. I don't know what the fuck it is, but these guys are idiots. That sucker punch, yeah, he a coward for that.
Definitely some goofy stuff, man. I still want to know what started this, but this is Florida, man. Florida, man. We already know Florida, man, is crazy.
Yeah.
No matter what race he is that particular day. Florida, if you're in Florida, you're probably a little bit nuts. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Yeah. No, it's weird though. I don't think I've never been in a brawl, and I'm trying to recall if I've ever seen like a brawl. I have seen a couple brawls take place though, but it's generally over dumb shit. And it's crazy that this was, what was this, a week ago, that they would jeopardize themselves. You want to get an arrest record, you want to do community service, you got to do anger management. It's just really dumb shit. And you did it so early in your life, so you'll be able to bounce back from this though. But it's like, what's the point? What's the purpose? Like, is it?
So okay, I lost you for a second, but you're back. So my two front teeth are fake because I took a sucker punch to the face, and both of my front teeth were chipped.
Whoa, when did this happen? I didn't know about this.
15.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Since I was 15, I've had I got them repaired, obviously, but I say all that to say, man, I've been sucker punched. It ain't fun. It's not fair. If you really got beef with somebody like that, go ahead and just do it in the head. I was with my cousin. My cousin was fighting with somebody, and I was just making sure that they was just going to do the one-on-one thing. The other guys that he was with didn't see it that way, so it turned into a 3-on-2, and I caught one from the side, and it chipped both of my teeth.
Jeez, MC.
But yeah, man, it's people are wild out here, and that's another thing, man. You never know how somebody's going to react. And what's that phrase? Yeah. You ain't got to get ready if you stay ready. Well, I've been staying ready ever since that day. So
I'm good for real, stay ready, all stars. You ain't lying about that. Yeah, that's wild. I never knew about that. Your front teeth because of a sucker punch. That's crazy. Yeah, I've seen some people get laid out because they weren't paying attention, and I'm like, dang, should keep your head on the swivel.
I guess fake is the wrong word here. Chipped. They both got chipped, and then I had
chipped. Yeah, okay, yeah. Still, you got to put that with a resin or something on there.
Yeah,
or it's called. So, wow,
it is what it is.
The stuff you find out doing.
Looks like right here they're arresting.
Whoops, stuff you find out doing a streaming. Okay, all right. So we're gonna switch to the last topic. Let me stop this banner. We're going to talk about Trump going into DC and federalizing it. Any thoughts on that, MC?
Man, let's run the clip first, because I'm gonna throw something out to you, and I kind of want to get you. It relates to this, but my thoughts right now are this is what happens when you have a culture where you have a problem and it's not being corrected. I'll just start there. If you don't police your own culture, then somebody else is going to police it.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. And I gotta say, I've been kind of blown away by the certain protests by a certain demographic of people. Now, I think the last thing I read is that DC is 44% black, if not
Yeah.
50% black. And the majority of the protests that I've been seeing have been mainly white people. I've seen a few people do it from, from the comfort of their own home talking about it. But as far as getting on the streets and protesting that, this is an overreach and, Trump is trying to go back after black people. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. Like there were people even talking about, and I never said this though, and I understand why people say it though, but that Kamala Harris was going to go after black people. But now we're seeing Trump, go after people, and it happens to be black people in DC. And look, I look, if Kamala had won the election, this you wouldn't be having this conversation though, because DC would be burning. So let's just put that out there. And there was another thing I was going to go. Actually, let me let you get in there.
Yeah, so I started researching this, right? Because people tried to make it about race right away, and I didn't want to get my emotions attached to it. So I did a little bit of research. One of the things that I found out, the police chief in DC, Pamela Smith, I believe her name is, she made a statement that this was unnecessary because, crime was declining in the DC area. But the pushback for that came from Greg Pemberton, who is the chairman of the police union in DC.
Right.
And he said, no, those numbers, you're lying. I have receipts that you're adjusting those numbers to make you look better. And I have receipts to show it. So we're back at he say, she say, TR. And they're both on different sides politically. Obviously, the chairman of the police union is thankful for the assistance that Trump is getting, while the police chief and the mayor think he's overstepping his boundaries and it wasn't necessary.
Didn't the police chief have to step down or get suspended because they were cooking the numbers?
So Pamela is the new police chief. There was an interim one before her. I did see that the interim got him up out of there. I don't know why, but that's what a lot of people are saying. But you just said it. I will say this though. I try to do my own independent research, and while it seems like violent crime is declining in 2025, carjackings and armed robberies are going up.
Mm-hmm.
So take what you want to from that one. Homelessness is up, drug abuse is up, but other forms of violent crime appear to be down. So there seems to be some nuances with that conversation on how safe DC is right now.
Yeah. I'm going to play a video. It's different from the one I originally was going to play. Let me get this pulled up.
So as part of Donald Trump's military takeover in DC, they are posting all of these photos of Black men who they arrest and posting it to Twitter.
Mm-hmm. That guy's not Black, but. Yeah, they're Black.
This is insane because clearly due process has gone out the window because these are people arrested. We don't even know really on what grounds they were arrested, but they're posting photos of people, blasting them to the public White House account before they have even been convicted of a crime. I'm old enough to remember when y'all were trying to tell me that Kamala was going to lock all these Black men up and that she locked all these Black men up. Those people are so quiet right now because this is just crazy.
If you think Trump's plan to take over DC's police department is about catching crime, it's not. This is about stoking white fear, making Black people seem dangerous. The Trump administration wasted no time, less than half a day before posting photos of Black men they've arrested on the official White House social media pages. It's a calculated move to stigmatize Black people, especially Black men, as criminal thugs to be feared. There is not even a single white man that they have arrested and posted on the social.
If what they're saying is absolutely true, then we can expect the biggest lawsuit ever against the U.S. government. If they're, because they're saying that they're going through and just sweeping up Black people that they find.
Yeah.
haven't even done anything, right? That doesn't seem logical to me. Like, how do you determine which ones you walk past and which ones you're going to arrest if that's the case? Because obviously a lot of these people are in DC saying the same thing. But I think later on we're going to show some black folks with the other perspective. So I'm going to let
Media page, y'all. Here's the truth. Violent crime in DC is at a 20-year low. It's dropped since 2023 and 2024. White folks will think this is solely about distracting from the Epstein files, but the harm this stigmatization will have on our communities will be widely felt for Black people. They've been running this playbook on Latino.
First of all, fuck Donald Trump. Second of all, to the Black people that are rationalizing Donald Trump taking over and militarizing DC streets under the pretext of crime, when crime in DC is at a 30-year low, you are part of the fucking problem too. And if it don't apply, let it fly. Okay, I don't need an announcement about how you haven't seen nobody say something.
January 3rd, 2025. I don't think Trump had taken over office, but you know, whatever. I think those numbers, yeah, like I said, the numbers are cooked.
I'm telling you what I've seen with my own two eyes. Here is the thing. For anybody to believe that Donald Trump coming in with the military is a solution, and for anybody to think, even after all that we've seen from this administration, that it's going to only impact the so-called bad ones, is irrational. The bottom line is the reason why Donald Trump is taking over DC is because DC is still a predominantly Black city. And he looks at Blackness and criminality as being one and the same. And so if you think that the Donald Trump that has told the National Guard, do whatever it is that you want to do to people, the same motherfucker that sat up there and wanted to shoot Black Lives Matter protesters last time he was in office.
I don't know if you saw the video about what's happening in DC and how the police basically, but Black people are under attack as usual. Okay. Black people need white allyship in person. Okay. All this rah-rah on the internet, you know, we can't stand what's happening, da-da-da-da. Okay, prove it, okay? If you see something happening that's wrong, you should speak up about it. Black lives have always been on the line from the dawn of time, and I'm sick of talking about it, but I will never stop talking about it because we're tired of always being the ones that's doing the work, always being the ones that's on the front lines, protesting, trying to fight for our own rights.
He hates Black people. He hates Black people. He said terrible, dangerous cities like Oakland, Baltimore, DC, because they're majority Black population cities. He hated Black people. He got 4 full-page ads in New York newspapers calling for the Central Park 5 to be executed. Innocent Black children.
You know, it's so funny how people just forget about Crime Bill Joe or Hillary Clinton. What is the word she used to describe Black people? She said it's something related to thugs. It is mind-blowing to see predators. Yeah, super predators. That's what it was. Predators. Yeah. She said super predators when talking about Black people. People forget about that. People forget about Crime Bill Joe that locked up a lot of Black Americans back in, what was it, either 90s. So you can say all this and, you know, he's trying to federalize. Like, people don't understand, like, DC is allowed to be, you know, have a mayor because of because of Congress. They tell them what to do. They control their budget. And if they want to federalize the city, they can do that. They have the jurisdiction to federalize the city. And so I know they're trying to fight it, though, but ultimately the Trump administration, they're going to win this out. They're going to get another, you know, they're going to, I know the attorney general's trying, I don't know if it is attorney general, but I know they're trying to fight it, though. They're not going to win. And it's like the people that they showed that the White House was displaying, all these people were arrested along with their convictions. You should be asking, like, how come if he's going after Black people or Black men, how are Black women not committing crimes in DC? They're the only ones that, when it comes to Black people, the Black women are the only ones not committing crimes. Is that what you're telling me? He's only specifically targeting a lot of these pookie ass Black men that are being convicted for having weapons, drugs, narcotics. They're being convicted on that. And they did the same thing with illegal immigrants that they were capturing through ICE. Did I see a lot of people come out and defend that? Were there any black? I barely saw any black people at the No Kings protests. So honestly, though, I would hate to be a white liberal right now because you got to save everybody. You got to protest everywhere. You got to like, take off time from work to go protest. Like it must be exhausting being a white liberal because you got to save illegals. You got to save black people. You got to save women. You got to save rainbows. Like it must be exhausting. Oh,
You
man.
know what's wild about this, and here's where the pro blacks might come for me a little bit. But if you can answer the question in the comments, cool. Look, if you don't like Trump, I get it. Fine, whatever. But here's my question for you. All those people by default were basically saying, "Ha ha, I told you so. We should have put Kamala Harris in office." Okay, fine.
Looks like right here, there.
What do you say to people like Jamal True Love and Cherie Peoples?
Yeah.
These are both people who were impacted, black people, by the way, who were impacted negatively by policies directly related to Kamala Harris and her time in California. As a matter of fact, Jamal Trulove successfully sued her, the city of San Francisco prosecution department, and the San Francisco police department, all because of a lawsuit tied to her as a prosecutor. Now, Cherie Peoples' story is even scarier because Kamala Harris's truant policies put her in jail while her daughter was in the hospital on freaking life support.
Was she
That's
sickle
why her
cell?
daughter wasn't going to school. She was sick.
Yeah,
So,
was it sickle cell she had? She had like a serious
I
disease.
don't remember what it was exactly, but NPR wrote a really good article on her. I have to see if I can go track it, pull it down somewhere. And these are just the top two names that come into my mind. Every black person who from California who tried to speak out against her was silenced while she was running for president. Let's be clear.
Right.
And this is why I can't rock with the pro blacks no more, because what you're really saying is as long as you believe what I believe, I'm a ride for you. But when you see other black people who are being wronged, you want to shut up and stay silent on them. Oh, let's just get her in office. She'll fix it. Nah. That stuff is done, man. That's why pro-black arguments don't make a whole lot of sense to me these days. And don't get me wrong, I still ride with y'all a little bit, but I had to distance myself at the same time for reasons like this. When y'all start doing stuff that's illogical and looking out for certain groups over others and doing the exact same thing y'all claim is being done to y'all and separating people into different categories, it don't make sense to me anymore.
Yeah. This is a video from 2022. The mayor, I forgot this even happened, but the mayor asking for National Guard help. Again, Mayor Bowser asking for help.
For stronger anti-crime legislation. So this morning, she went to Capitol Hill to testify before the House Oversight Committee about crime in the district and ways to reduce it.
Access to firearms is a national problem, and we need common sense gun reform. We also need this Congress to give the mayor control of the DC National Guard. We welcome your partnerships or non-public safety initiatives as well.
Mayor Muriel Bowser announced her.
Yeah. So they've done this before. New York even brought in the National Guard because crime was so bad. And she got zero pushback on that. I mean, the conservative side, people on the right, they called it out. They're like, hey, I thought crime was down. I thought crime wasn't a problem in New York. Why is she bringing in the National Guard because that's when they had those subway assaults where people were getting pushed off the platform, or that one woman that was pretty much lit on fire and no one did anything about it. There was even a police officer that had walked by when that situation happened. So a lot of people forget that a lot of these cities were asking, like, go back to like the Biden administration, they were asking for additional resources, asking for the National Guard. And you fast forward because it's Trump, you want to act like, hey, there is no problem, that we're able to keep the crime down, yada, yada. Like a lot of these people think because crime is down, they're going back to 2020 when crime went down nationally for a lot of people because people couldn't go out. Like a lot of these cities, especially the blue cities, they were pretty much putting everyone on a curfew and making sure you couldn't be out without a mask. You had to have the vax card, like dumbass shit. Like a lot of crazy stuff was going on back in 2020. And so, yeah, a lot of crime did drop, but they want to act like crime has just been dropping. Like, no, before 2020, crime was still high. And now you're getting back to that number post COVID.
Yeah, and I want to be clear on something I just said. I'm not discounting people that have concerns with what's happening in DC. I'm not ignoring you. I'm not discounting you. What I am telling you is here's something you're gonna have to look forward to in the future. So this is a town in New Jersey. It's called Gloucester. They just passed a law, TR, that parents can now be fined and possibly put in jail for the crimes that their kids
Oh yeah, I heard
commit.
about that.
And I'm telling you, you can expect to see more stuff like this happen in other cities. Because now, since the parents aren't accountable for a lot of what these kids are doing, they're going to make you accountable for what your kids are doing, which means now you're going to have to parent and now you're going to have to discipline. So that's what's coming next. I just want everybody to know that and be clear about that. I haven't been to DC in a very long time, but I don't recall it being very much of a safe place. You kind of get the rundown, just like any other city you go to. Like, hey, here's the places where it's cool to go. Here's some places you might want to avoid after certain hours, and a lot of those places to avoid ain't too far from the White House. TR.
True, a few
We
blocks
had a
down.
compilation video of a bunch of black people saying that this was long overdue and we'll need it, but we really couldn't play it because it was music in the background. Maybe we'll share it on our social media page or something. But on the outside looking in, I'm not understanding how you're choosing sides on this. I really don't.
Facts.
Arresting a homeless man. What's going on right here?
This man is being arrested.
For what he did? What he do?
We're hearing that he was distributing narcotics.
Okay, so they're getting a deal off the street.
I don't want to characterize them.
Thank you, white apologists.
All right, they're arresting this guy right here. They say that guy just said he was arrested for narcotics, so he's either a homeless man or a drug dealer here on the street. There you have in the
I gotta
bag.
turn the volume down real
whatever
quick.
He was selling. They put it in the bag, so he was indeed selling drugs. Right now, we have the FBI, the police, Secret Service. We got about 8 agents out here right now, and there is the bag right there with all the money and the drugs that he was selling on the streets.
After he had been arrested, a protester showed up and went absolutely crazy.
Warning,
on law
headphone
enforcement.
bros.
This lady just arrived and she is screaming in the megaphone. I wonder if she knows that they just arrested a drug dealer off the streets of Washington, D.C. Wow, you got a
All right, I'm gonna stop right there. That's too much.
I'm going to assume she ain't got to go to work in the morning.
Nope. Again, these are white apologists, white liberals coming out here, and they want this type of chaos in their city because they don't live in these cities. Some of these people are just paid. It's been proven that there have been paid protesters showing up to a lot of these locations, trying to instigate some type of melee, some type of riot, going after police. And we haven't seen too many though, because the Trump administration started going after their money or the people behind that are funding a lot of these protests. And so again, that's why I'm saying we see a lot of white people just ready to go, jump out there and start going after Trump. And then we don't. And then with the whole DC thing, I have seen the videos of black people just saying, hey, this is a well-needed thing, but I haven't seen too many protests. Like you would think, here's the thing. They have like the Wizards and they also have the, the Wizards and the Commanders. Okay, the Redskins. Those teams have a lot of black men on there. And if those men believe, because we've seen a lot of athletes go political, get into politics. If we are to believe that this is a terrible thing that they're doing, then why haven't we heard from any of those? Heard from the NFL, the NBA? How come we haven't heard from any of those people? How come we have heard from some of the top athletes that are, that play for those teams? How come we haven't heard from baseball teams? The Nationals? How come we haven't heard it from any of those guys? Because a lot of these organizations, they try to act like they're about politics and racism, like the NFL puts in the end zone. We haven't heard anything from them. So that tells me that this is what's needed, this is what needs to be done in DC, and they agree with it. They just can't say it publicly, but everyone's quiet. We haven't even heard from LeBron James. LeBron James, he gets in on everything.
He tends to get behind some of these local causes. Here's my point though. Cities with the highest violent crime rates as of year end 2024: Memphis, Detroit, Baltimore, St. Louis, Kansas City, Little Rock. Cities with the highest property crime: Memphis again, Portland, Seattle, Washington, Denver, Colorado. Let me tell you what I see, TR.
Blue cities.
I'm not seeing a city that's full of black people. I'm seeing a city that's blue. That's what I'm seeing. So at what point do you as a Dem say, oh, why are we in charge of the majority of these cities with all of these problems? Maybe we need to adjust something on the back end and tighten up and get these crime rates under control. I'm going to eventually do like a red city comparison and kind of put them next to each other. Maybe we'll do that next week. But when you look at these top 5 cities in both of those categories, most cities are blue. I don't know about Little Rock, but the rest of these cities are absolutely blue, TR.
Yeah.
I never said anything about black people. And I've never been in the circles that I'm in, it's red and blue. It's not black, white, or whatever else. These blue cities, which ironically have the most gun control laws locally, are the ones that are dealing with the most crime.
Chicago, New York. Yeah, they have some of the strictest gun laws on the books. So this is a well welcome thing. I definitely voted for this. When it comes to like, you know, having less crime, I didn't get a chance to show the picture, but there were they showed it. Somebody, I forgot who it was, but she showed a picture of the victims, and there were a lot of kids that were on that page, victims of violence in DC, and this is just within the last month. So this is something that needs to be done, that has to be done. And I'm glad Trump is moving forward with it. And, you know, people that got a problem with it, start protesting, like start getting some of your woke actors and teams, start having them come out and do something about it. And the thing is, they've been pretty quiet about it though. So, you know, I hope Trump continues to, you know, continue push to get DC under control. And I hope some of these other cities, they start fixing up their cities because they need to protect their citizens, especially Chicago's, New York, LA. They have the most smoke for Trump, but they have one of the highest homicide rates in the country.
Yeah, and again, Dems are going to have to realize that you're going to have to come with real policies. You can't play with people's emotions anymore. That didn't work for you last election. Putting people in front of you twerking didn't work last election. Wanting to put somebody in who, I don't care what you say, she was unqualified. I'm sorry, she was.
Facts.
Get somebody else in there who can unite and get everybody excited to go to the polls. Because we told y'all it wasn't her. Y'all knew she wasn't polling very popular last time, and y'all kind of pushed her to the front anyway. Kind of like the same thing y'all did when y'all realized Bernie Sanders was about to beat out Hillary Clinton. And then we hear things about Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Donna Brazile. Like, come on, man. Like, if you're going to tell me that your party is better, you're going to have to show me, because right now your words alone don't mean anything.
Exactly. So, all right, that is going to wrap up tonight's episode. Any final thoughts, MC?
Yeah, man. I just want to say I had somebody who listens to us come up to me and say, I'm not representing the marriage bros appropriately.
Hey,
my response to him was I can't say on here what I said to him, but I'll just say this: I'm married. I'm happily married. I'll scream that to the mountaintops, but I will never force that on another man. You have to decide if that's the right choice for you. You have to do your own vetting and put your own things in place to make sure that you chose correctly. I just said right now, matter of fact, we both say the opposite. Most of the time for men, it's not a good deal. It should be, but it's not.
Yeah, not today. So
it's a good deal for me, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a good deal for you.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't mind having, you know, some additional conversations about marriage and, you know, who it goes for, who benefits from it, though. So maybe there's a conversation to be discussed there. So, but anyways, all right, we will see you guys next time. Peace.